guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and today I am working on some fabric flips for my Dark Forest journal. I will be putting these into my journal today. I don't know how many I'm making, probably about 3, but we will see where the day takes me. I'm gonna sit my journal to this side, and I've got quite a few fabrics available to me. I've got mostly purples and blacks. Pull some more of these in. And a little bit of pink, some gold, some black lace, and there's some other cream lace. There's other things laying around. But I am gonna just kind of jump into it. Let me grab, let's see here. Got a sheet of paper, and I am gonna use this as kind of a guide for how big I want the fabric. This is just a regular 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It's cut in half, so just general. And then I've got one of my ephemera pieces here, just as a kind of color guide, and you can see everything I've picked. The pinks stray just a little, but I feel like it's okay to mix some of that in. There we go. Just to bring a little more life to it, so it's not just black and purple. So, boy, and this is like, it's a little overwhelming. I haven't really done much in the way of fabric flips. I've layered maybe a couple pieces of fabric before, more like kind of a tassel or something like that. I think the first thing I'd like to play with is this stuff. Now when I cut this, it is gonna kind of fringe out on the side, just like it does right here. So I'm gonna have to take that into account, and then I'm gonna take the length into account. I love the idea of this fringe hanging down. It is a little long. I could fold it over on itself though. That's an idea. All right, I'm gonna grab my fabric scissors. There they are. I definitely want to play with this fringe. I haven't really cut up this way very much, have I? This was the whole width. Well, let's see what happens. It's probably going to unravel at least a little bit. So let's go kind of part the fringe so I don't cut that up. Hopefully it'll hold together a little better if I am more aware. Oh, I pulled something. Uh-oh. All right, we'll go right here. So I'm gonna go right up through there. This was a really cool scarf. These are all kind of see-through holes. And I want to keep the fringe, and then I'm going to fold that over at the top. I don't want it to go all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to find something to kind of sandwich in there, maybe something lighter or a contrasting pattern. Let's see here. This is just a scrap of fabric. How wide does this need to be to stick out? Something like this, maybe? I just realized I turned the iron on. And because there's a piece of trim here on my table that's all wrinkly, and I wanted to maybe use it today. And I hear it over there and it's on, so I'm gonna do that in a minute. All right, so I might have cut this a little bit too big. This is it's a nice piece, so I'm gonna save that and maybe do something a little smaller. Let's go with the natural kind of where that needs to be cut, and I'll tear that one down. Get rid of our fringy leftovers. I don't know if I'm totally feeling that. I like the fringe, but it's just covering up that print way too much. So let's get rid of that and try. Got some gold here. It's got like a pinked edge. I'll also flip this around. It does seem to have like is it the same on both sides? I can't tell. Okay, so I'm wondering if that isn't going to work exactly the way I think it's going to work. But what if I glue it into the journal so that these little fringes stick up out of the top. I like that idea. That would be pretty fun. And then that would kind of lock this in. So stuff like this is always such a trial and error process. So let's come back to this. Now I kind of like that. Give that a snip. And there are those extra strings. There we go. And then we need something on top of that. I have so much available. That's kind of delicate and fun. I might layer something else up with it. This is a sheer lavender ribbon with kind of an iridescent edge. And let's add something else. I got all kinds of goodies here. So let me just rummage around. Some black lace. There's some netting, there's bits of lace. Should we go asymmetrical a little bit instead of making it all stubborn stitching? Instead of, oh, that's a nice layer. I like that. Not something like that. I need to move this down a bit. I'm gonna run the stitching. I'm gonna sew this on the sewing machine, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where I wanna sew it and what color I want to sew it with. That's always the question. But I like how this looks. That's fun. So I'm gonna set this one to the side. That one is, that's a go. We like it. So, oh, I'm gonna stretch over there and let me go address the iron situation. All right, so the iron is now off. My ribbon trim here is nice and flat, so yay, we'll see if I use that or not. And I went ahead and ran this through the sewing machine really quickly and added a zigzag stitch to it. Got some stray strings happening there, so I'm gonna kind of clean this up a bit. We like fraying, but I don't wanna be just dropping flotsam everywhere. And that's just gonna go way at the tip top of a page, and if this is too long, I'll just trim the fringe up once I find a place for it. I might also trim up the fringe at the top. That's what that means. So, all right, this goes to the side again, and that is fabric flip number 1. So now what can we get into for the second one? I'm looking for kind of prints or things like that. I've got a scrap container next to me as well. And I have this black triangle fabric. I do not know if this will tear. Let me see. It has like a really weird feel to it. I don't know what it's made out of. So I'm gonna just snip right there. Yay, all right. Oh, dropping stuff on the floor. All right, so this is all curvy. My sister had a scrap bag and I raided it. She was gonna throw a bunch of stuff away. She was just tired of it being in her house. And I was like, no, don't throw it away. I'll take it. So let's do that so we can get kind of a straight edge. And oh, it's making these little like elastic stringy things everywhere and it's getting stuck to my hand. All right, so let's get our width right about like that. All right, and then it's not straight on the top. I'm gonna cut it. Let me get the pinking shears. Where are the pinking shears? Right here, I got them out. This does have, oh, that's fun because it's got a triangle pattern, so I don't know why I'm trying to stay on that piece of paper. All right. Ooh, this is very squidgy fabric. Wants to go all over the place. All right, that goes into the scrap pile. And let's go right about, I don't know, here. This is super thin. So I'm picturing these in my journal over writing spaces, some of the pages that would be plain, just to bring a little more life to them. I like that. If I trim up the edges on that. I'm having a better, an easier time visualizing what that looks like too using this page. Now this might be a little bigger. I can always trim these up a little if they're too wide. Well, I'm assuming I can. I think so. So I haven't really messed with this before. All right, so there's some gold. I like that. Is this a case where we bring in that ribbon? I feel like that's a little wide. That's wider than I want. I've got some pink and black. There's also some purple satin. I do not like that. What else do I have? What else is on the table? This is some of the scarf I used for the cover. It is going to disintegrate. I know it is. It's just very delicate, but I do like how it looks. So maybe a piece of that. I kind of liked going like up and down on the other one. So maybe something hanging down. I do have some lace. And I can cut, let's cut a piece of this. And this has that edging, gathered edging on it. Sometimes I can just tear it off and sometimes I need to cut it off. And I don't feel like being patient today, so I am going to cut it off instead of pulling the stitching out, which I have done. Sometimes I tear it off and leave just like a raggedy edge, which can be fun as well, and it would probably suit this journal, but into the trash pile with that. I like that it's subtle, but I think I want it to go under, play a little under over. Oh, thunder, it's going outside. I have a storm coming in. I want this to be a little shorter. So it's a subtle texture. I like that. All right, less is more, or more is more. Is it too much? I feel like something should go there. I could decorate it later with some words or something like that. I have a text kit that matches this journal. So I think I'm gonna leave that one just like that. All right, I went ahead and stitched that one. I put 2 rows of zigzag stitching on this. I do need to clean out some of the threads, but that's super cute. And that is gonna be my second one. One more. I really wanna get into this fabric here. This is like a white with watercolor. And I know that the journal is very dark and heavy, but when you get in there, let's grab this guy. There's a lot of lightness as well. And I thought that this would be really pretty inside and it was gonna pick up a lot of the purples. It's got purple and blue and yellow in it. It's got all my colors. So I'm gonna wanna tear off a piece of this. Let's see what we got here. This is another kind of scrappy remnant. And I kind of like that old frayed edge. Oh, this is a seam at the top. This must have been a sheet or something at one point. And this is all kind of crooked. So I'm gonna wanna neaten that up just a bit-ish. I did not tear it all like I thought it would. It just went that way. So clearly there's something going on with this one. I'm gonna have to cut it. Let's actually cut it. Like straight or something. All right, so it won't cut straight. So what do we do? What do we do? I'm gonna use the pinking shears and go down this way. We did the zigzag on the top and the bottom last time, and this time I'm gonna do it on the sides, I think. And I was wondering if I could fold this up and make a pocket where I could put some things inside. I don't know. This is a little heavier fabric. It's kind of wrinkled. I already unplugged my iron though, so we'll run with it. If it's too bad later on, I will. So if I fold it up that way, then I lose the print, but I could put something else on that pocket area. I could decorate that. It's a little wacky at the top. Maybe I should just make it not wacky at the top. Sure, I'll use the pinking shears there. I can still make a pocket. I can just apply it. Just wanted to try something a little different today. I wonder if this black trim, it does have kind of a nice contrast. So I'm going to use a piece of that. Do we go that way? That way? Which way do we go? Let's go this way. Cut a piece of that. Maybe some lace of some sort. I have a lot of lace next to me as well on my cart. Kind of, even though it's covering up that pattern, I don't know why, it makes me think of Arizona a little bit, even though the colors aren't really like that Arizona color. But it kind of peeks through and it's still part of my theme. So I think I might do that. I think it's visually interesting. And now, do I want to make a pocket? And if so, what do I make a pocket out of? Because I don't want it to be too heavy or distracting, or you know what? Instead of a pocket, what about like a tab at the bottom? Make a tab. And then we come back to a tab out of what? Maybe a little piece of this. It's got a butterfly on it. That's cute. Everybody likes butterflies. I like butterflies. Of course, it's gonna be upside down. I might need to use this part. Oh, I like these dark leaves as well. So I'm gonna make like a little tab for the bottom, and I'm gonna use my pinking shears again and do that. And then leave flotsam everywhere. And do a little tab at the bottom. Just a little something different. There's that. All right. I feel like I'm going to do something else though. And then do I want it on the left or the right? I think I'm going to put it on the right. This is super light. I feel like it needs something else. What about some of this lace layered under there? I have a shorter piece. Where's the shorter piece? I used all of it. I used it on the tie, on the journal. All right, there is no shorter piece. That's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this because if I don't use it on this page, I will use it somewhere else. So I think right here. I might make another flip just to use it if this goes this way. It has a front and the back. And it looks like this was attached. There we go. Just yank that off. All right, build the layers back up. I have to cut this down. Oh, that's moody and pretty, huh? I do that. I want that raggedy edge peek out. And then put that there. And that there. I don't know. I'm gonna cut this down. All right, try again. That one, and then this one. I do like that. I think when it's on a colored page, it's gonna pop more. There, getting it off that white piece of paper. That made a big difference. I've got some purple and pink pages inside the journal. It would go on one of those to make it kind of jump out. I like that. That's really cute. All right, to the sewing machine. All right, so it's all sewn up. It is a little like leaning to one side at the top, but I like that. I think if I line it up with the page, this little angled bit is gonna stick up. I want it to stick up above the page. I think that would be really cute and create some texture. So let's snip this string off here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put these into my journal. Let's see, I have 5 signatures. So usually what I try to do is go through and I limit these kinds of things to 1 per signature. And since I have 5, I'll probably do the 1st, 3rd, and 5th signatures. I'm trying to speak clearly today. And I'm gonna have to find the right places for these. Gosh, I kind of like that place for it. I like the other one better because I have the tab is on this side, where if I grab this one, this extra dangle is on this side, and I might want that towards the outside edge. I don't know though, now I'm questioning myself. So I'm gonna grab, I think that maybe my first pick there was, that was the one. And this will go right here. I like that it adds texture and there's a torn edge down there. Let me make sure. Am I all in? Yes, I'm all in the camera. Where's my, I have my beacon Fabri-Tac. That's what I'm going to use to put my flips into the journal. Is it wide enough? Yes. All right, this is fitting very nicely. How high above? See, it pokes up just a little bit. I could make it poke up a little more. Maybe, but I feel like I'm going to be getting away from this main kind of attachment point. So I'm just going to let it poke up that little bit. And I'm going to run my glue kind of along the stitching area. Just generously glue this. I want it to be on there really well because if you're flipping up to right, you're going to want that to not get away from you. Oh, gosh. Okay. I'm trying not to stick my fingers in the glue and I'm failing miserably. And gluing down. Let me just kind of, okay, I need to pull that over because I want it to close. I don't want to glue this too close to the crease or else it can cause things to bind up. So I'm going to kind of edge towards the edge of that page. Let me check the back, give it a smooth. I like that. I might come along and ink the top of this page just to kind of make those separate. But there's the first one. Very cute in there. All right, so this is, let's flip past the second signature into the third. And I'm gonna find a place to put this one. Got pockets in here. This area is a little bit, here, this whole area is just a little, I think this one. So if I do that, now I didn't trim this up. I'm gonna trim this up a little bit. Is this where I want it? I'm not sure I like these together, even though they're purple and bluish purple. I'm not loving that combination. So let's try another page. Ooh, let's go back. Where's the other half of that guy? Oh, I put pockets on it. And then we've got the other half of the other one, though this does have more purple in it. I kind of like that with her. All right, so I'm gonna grab my scissors and trim this up. Let me use that piece of paper as like a catch-all because I don't want to make a mess everywhere. What does that say? Oh, I had written notes to myself for one of my, can I use my pinking shears on that? I can. Oh, that's fun. I'm doing that. All right, pinking shears on the top. I like that. That kind of cleaned it up a bit. And then I'm going to just give this a little trim on the bottom. I don't feel like it needs to be even, but it was too long. These are already, like, I don't think they're gonna unravel. And if they do, they do. I'm not too worried about that. All right, off to the side with you and all of your bits and pieces. The rest of you can just go on the floor because that's where we're at. Get my book back in frame here. Get this back in, and I wanted it to poke up over the edge. And I don't want it to be too far into the crease, and I like that a lot. That's cute. So I'm gonna, again, run the glue. I'm gonna use a lot of glue so it'll kind of go through this kind of open weave. There we go. Probably just maybe too much glue, I don't know. And flip this over. I definitely want to move it that way a bit. Let's see. There you go. I like that peeking over the top. I might do something here. That does stick out like a little bit of a tab. Can I fold this over? This little piece of fabric. Let me put some glue there. I just like how that looks. A little glue, and that'll help kind of hold in. There we go. fold that over. I like it. There was some ink there too, so it makes it visually interesting. And there's that. I like the uneven fringe at the bottom as well. So that's the second one. Now at this point, like if I wanted to, I made all these little charm pins in one of my previous videos. And this is a good place to add one of these charm pins in. If I wanted to add a little extra decoration. I might wait until my glue dries before I do that, so I'm not, I actually just really like that one, so I think that's the one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go right through the lace and the ribbon underneath. These are those little bulb pins, a charm, and then I used embroidery floss with some beads to make this little charm, and that is really cute. It just adds a little something else. And then I can flip this whole thing up and right underneath. Yay. All right, third one. Let's go back through fourth, fifth signature. So I've got this last one. I need to find the right, this might be the right spot for it, next to the wolf pocket. Trim this string up. I'm wondering if I kind of like it being below. Instead of going all the way to the top, I can go just below that. And I had originally said, oh, put this to the outside, but I don't know what I'm talking about, so don't listen to me. Let's look and see if there's any other places. Oh, that's right. And every time I see this, I'm like, oh, you got to do something there. You got to do something fun there. Every time it goes by. Oh, what about here? Because here, there's just, this is kind of a dead area. And if I want to preserve the writing space, that's a good spot to do that. All right, do I like it on the purple? Or do I like it on the coffee dyed paper? I think I like it on the coffee dyed paper. So I'm gonna do that one. I had to sneeze, so I stopped the camera for a second. and then I forgot to turn it back on and started gluing. So if you wanna know what happened, how come there was suddenly glue there, it's because I sneezed. All right, I'm gonna put this down so that that rough edge peeks over, and I might come in through and ink that. It'd be like one of those little details I do later. And again, if I wanted to, I could put one of those pins there. I think I'm gonna wait because this is such a large spot. I've got a text kit. I'm gonna reach over. It has the same, I've got all these large texts. It could be fun to do something like that on this since there is such a large open space up there. Yeah, so there we go, 3 flips in my journal. I am just now starting to put more things into this journal. I'm going to be working more and more inside of the journal in my videos here going forward. I'm not sure how much, I'm gonna start trying to record more. I have a tendency to sit down one day and then just start making a bunch of things or decorating a whole bunch, and then I don't record it. So I am going to try to be better and really give you guys more nitty-gritty details and just record, throw the camera on whenever I'm working on these and let you see exactly what I'm doing. And this is how I break it down. I pick one thing. Today it was fabric flips. And I made some and I put them in a kind of a systematic way. And that way I'm like, oh, I did something today. It was fun. It was creative and I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. I hope you're inspired to put some fabric flips into your next journal. Please like and subscribe if you would like to see how this journal turns out. And I will see you in the next one.